Hello, it's Sean. Today we're going to be working on painting some Russian infantry. These guys are 6mm models. They're about 1985 era Russian infantry. These are going to be used with Cold War Commander, Team Yankee, Fistful of TOWs, and 6mm. They've been primed white with my usual automotive primer that I get at the local parts store. First up, I'm going to put a coat of Vallejo Model Air Middlestone. Okay, I've got a nice solid base coat down of the Middlestone, and now I'm going to wash these with Agrax Earthshade from Citadel. The wash has dried on these, and now it's time to do a really light dry brush of the Middlestone again. I'm not going to lighten this up at all. I just want to get a little bit of the highlights. Okay, I've applied a light dry brush, pull out the details a little bit better. And next up, I'm going to paint the weapons black and the boots black. Alright, these are dry now. I'm going to put some elf skin tone on as flesh, so the hands and faces will get painted. Next up, I'm going to do a little bit of red for the shoulder badge on each shoulder of these guys. Alright, next up is to paint the helmets with Model Air Vallejo Russian green. Alright, these are coming together pretty well. Last up is I'm going to pick out some of the details on their belt. I'm going to use game color Khaki. I have completed painting my Soviet infantry for the Cold War games. These are going to be used for Team Yankee, Cold War Commander, Fistful of TOWs, other games like that. I got a couple of bases painted, or a couple of strips painted. Now it's time to cut them apart and glue them to some bases. I'm going to be putting them on 40mm by 30mm bases, and I'll put a label on the back. And then the anti-tank teams are going to get based on 30mm by 30mm bases. Same thing, they'll have a label as well. So I just got to cut these apart, and then we'll glue them down. Alright, so I've got all these clipped apart. and I just kind of place them around the base of how I think they would look. Nice. I like to place them first to get an idea of how they're going to look when they're glued down. Alright, I've attached the models to my bases, and now I need to texture the base. I want to add some filler here so that this is not quite as noticeable when it's textured. I don't like that gap. So what I've done is I've mixed up a little bit of my modeling goop. This is drywall putty and some wood glue, a little bit of soap to break the tension a little bit, and I'll add water as I need to thin it if I need to. And some paint. So the paint just makes it kind of the base color that I'm going with, so I have less work to do when I actually get around to painting it. And it helps to thin down the drywall putty as well. So all I'm going to do is just to kind of gloop it on here. I have little modeling tools to help spread it. And you got to be careful. You don't want to get it on your models, because once it's on there, it's not really coming off. So take your time, be patient. The texture has dried on these bases, and now it's time to apply a dark brown coat to them. I put some brown paint, some of this brown paint, into the mix that I used, and it helps to give a base, but I still got to touch them up, give them a better finish. So this is just cheap acrylic craft paint from I think I got it at Walmart. Burnt umber is the color I use most of the time for my bases, so that's what I'm going to use for these guys. To start with, I'll use a small brush and apply it right around the bases of the guys, and then I'll get out a bigger brush to kind of finish out the rest of the base, just so it goes a little bit quicker. Alright, I have the infantry bases completed except for flock. So I put the little sticker on them. They're textured so that the base of the infantry model doesn't stick up off of the surface of the base, or at least not very much. Next I'm going to flock them. And so for flocking them, I use 3 different colors. This is Dirt Flock from Gale Force 9, and then I'll sprinkle a little bit of that on, and then I sprinkle a little bit of this on, which is Blended Earth from Woodland Scenics, and then this is Oh, what color is it? Fine turf green grass from Woodland Scenics. And it's kind of had some of these mixed in as I've done other bases, so it's a little bit less solid green than it was, but it works great. So, I'm gonna be basing up all these Russian infantry. So here we go. Alright, so there you can see my flocked infantry bases. I think they look pretty good. I like the color variety, the variation of color on the bases. Models don't stand out very well, which is a challenge, but I mean, they're trying to blend in with the terrain, so it's just the way it works. That's why I've put the labels on the bases so that it's easy to distinguish which base is what. So anyway, this is some Russian Cold War era infantry. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this or all the other projects that I work on, you can subscribe to my channel. Or if you have any questions about any of the processes that I use or colors or whatever, you can put that in the comments below and I'll try to answer as best I can. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.